God is moving. It's Young People Nation.
Welcome to Young People Nation. Listen to us weekly as we commit to bring transparency, healing, and truth to the everyday situations in life that might bring you down. Join us for your weekly dose of inspiration. Thank you for listening to Young People Nation. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And now, here's your host, Eugene and Donna Perry.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Give the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross.
Good morning, good afternoon, good day, and welcome to Young People Nation. We are excited about today's session, and we would like to give a shout out to our sponsors and supporters. We just want to say thank you so much, because without you, this would not happen. God first, and God using you all, and so thank you all so much. And so today, it's not the first time we met Michael. We met Michael last year, right, Michael?
That's right.
Michael Fortino.
That's right.
There,
You got it.
yes. Yes. Now, Michael is he's from Augusta. He is a director, a teacher. Acting is his passion. He's a part of comedy groups, and so many other things. And we were just talking about this word, Schrodinger's cat. Yeah,
Okay. It's the name of the group. We perform every first Friday at Le Chat Noir.
Yes.
At 8 and 10 o'clock.
Okay.
We sell out. We've been selling out the 8 o'clock for years straight, like just consecutively.
Wow.
Just even through the pandemic when we had limited space because we could only perform to 40 people at a time during the pandemic. And even then they would still show up and sell out for us, and we're very thankful to still be running.
All right. How many cats you have there?
14, and then we have one real cat that lives in the theater, and her name is Eula.
wow.
It's very sweet.
Eula?
Eula. Uh-huh.
Wow.
She'll just she'll she'll just walk out on stage in the middle of shows, and everyone would be like, "Yeah, Eula."
Oh,
She's
yeah.
the most famous cat we have.
Okay.
and Michael has acted on many platforms, and I know some of you all have watched Stranger Things.
Yes.
So he acted in that. So acting is his passion, and he is real big in his community. So just told us about this upcoming amazing opportunity he has with Augusta State. So God is really using him in different areas.
That's right. I'm definitely very blessed right now with so many good things that have come my way throughout these past few years from Stranger Things, but also, the studio that we're in right now. I work with Augusta Podcasts. They're helping me get my own company started as far as pre-production, and I'm learning everything about videography and podcasting through the university. It's just been a really good year in that regard. I'm just very blessed and thankful for the opportunities.
Okay, so, we talked with Michael, and Michael opened up, and we're thankful that we were a platform that he could open up and talk with. And so we're going to be talking about in session 1, the experience and the effect of witnessing death in your face as a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Wow. Watching the 7-year-old classmate get killed. Talk about that.
Yeah, I was... It was just a regular day, and we were on the bus, and I was sitting with one of my classmates, and we were talking, and it was her bus stop to get off, and she got off, and as she was crossing the street, the bus driver waved her to go across, and, bus drivers have a lot going on with 30-plus kids. It could be 40, 50 kids, and he's got a lot to pay attention to, and he waved her across, and she knelt down to tie her shoe right in front of the bus. And he didn't see her, so he assumed that she'd crossed the street, and he starts driving, and then you hear like a bump bump. And and I just remember one of my classmates screaming like, "He ran over her." And it was just all of us just kind of in this weird You know, I mean, we're all kids, and
Yeah.
this is something we
Right.
shouldn't have to experience.
Yeah.
And I just remember all of us. I remember the bus driver putting his head in his hands, just sobbing, and I remember the parents coming out, and but yeah, that was really rough. The police officers did a good job making sure that we didn't see anything. You know, I mean, that we've already, we felt something, but we didn't see anything.
Okay.
They made sure our faces were hid. They pushed us off the bus. They got us to where we needed to be. But yeah, it was a tough day, not only for, all of us that were involved, but our parents too, because
Yes.
it really, it shook our parents. Oh, I remember my mom crying, just being horrible thing, but being thankful wasn't us,
Right.
because it was just a really bad day. And I remember, I was concerned about the family, and of course my friend, but I was also really devastated for that bus driver, because
Right.
that impacts his life forever.
Yes.
Right.
And he has to live with that. And
Jesus.
but yeah, it was.
So how did you handle that mentally? I mean, did they have like school counselors and things
Yes.
like that?
Yeah, the school offered counseling sessions, but I think it could only go so far.
Okay.
I don't think, especially back then, this was probably early 2000s. I don't think anybody was really equipped to be talking to us, especially
Right.
this was public school counselor, and I'm sure she wasn't necessarily prepared to have to talk about something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, deaths in schools happen, children get sick, or, other tragedies happen. But I think witnessing another student, I think that's really rare to see. And they did the best that they could. And my parents, they tried to provide different things for me. I remember going to a Catholic priest, but there just wasn't a lot to, I didn't know the person, and Catholicism wasn't necessarily, that's what my parents practiced
Right.
when they were
Yes.
younger, and that wasn't really for me.
Okay.
And I remember that I was just so scared, and my mom said that I really got into religion on my own, and I went to Bible school, vacation Bible school every
Right.
summer.
Okay.
And I remembered I was always comfortable there, and I
Okay.
had friends there, and I liked singing. I liked singing the songs a lot.
yeah.
I didn't tell you guys this story, but when I was younger, I loved wrestling, and I had a bunch of wrestlers, and I would play wrestlers. But I loved singing too.
Yes.
And I was in Bible school, and I would just play with my wrestlers, and my grandpa wasn't down. I was singing, "Feed me, Jesus." Feed me all the time. Yeah. And my grandpa was like, "Is this normal?" But I was
With
like,
the
"No, I really."
wrestlers, right?
Yeah, but I really just liked the music, and I liked. I still love gospel music. It's beautiful. And
Yes.
but yeah, I just started going to vacation Bible school, and I really, and I just started going to church regularly after that.
Okay.
And every Sunday I'd go to the dinners after service and
Right.
hang out with friends and sing songs, and I found a kind of a safe haven in there for a little bit.
That's good. So that was kind of your therapy
right
for that situation.
Absolutely. In between that and being surrounded in a theater community where it's usually surrounded with love as well as the church.
Right.
It was nice to feel that for a bit, feel
Yes.
safe, because it definitely was
That's
scary.
important.
Yeah, it was really scary, and I didn't feel safe.
Right.
But I was able to find some safety there.
That's good. And
Yeah.
that's important, especially at the age of 7.
Absolutely, yeah, because I don't think I'd be able to process that barely as an adult, let
Yes.
alone as a 7-year-old child.
Right.
And I was, but we talked about that. It definitely shaped me
Right.
into a different person, but I think for the better.
I find that in situations like that, 'cause I have seen situations like that in my life, and it's best to let the child talk about what they want to talk about,
Yes.
Yeah,
and not put the adult situation in there, or what the adult thinks the child needs. the child can have a strong, way of dealing with things, and let's let them talk about what they want to talk about.
Exactly.
So, we talked in our conversation about your parents
Mm-hmm.
and your dad, who was in the military, and of course, military minded, they think totally different. Okay. Let's discuss how he handled this matter with you. And he did the best he could with what he
did
had.
the best he could, and my dad having that military background, and he went through a lot of trauma and abuse through his life, whether it was through the military or through his own family growing up. And I believe what he was taught to do throughout his life is to just, process it internally and move on.
Right.
Don't talk to people about it. I don't need to talk to anybody. I can handle it myself. And he tried his best, but the only thing he could do is, he's a vet. It was like he would compare war stories with me. It's like, oh yeah, that happened to you. Well, listen to what happened to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. I'm not ready. No, that's not. But at the same time, that's all he knew.
Yeah.
And to him, it was like, I'm opening up to you to show you that I've also been through some things. But it wasn't necessarily the best thing for him to do. But I, recognizing now as an adult, it's like, what else did he know? And I just appreciate that he even tried.
That's huge right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, he came from a rough upbringing. And so, the fact that he tried meant something to me.
Yes.
I didn't understand as a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Right.
You tell me about war stories. And I'm like,
right.
Okay.
It's like, even like, stories that he had witnessed as a car salesman. He'd witnessed a really bad car accident, and he had to save a child's life, and it's stuff like that. And I was like, that's really cool, but that's not necessarily what I need.
Right.
Goes back to what my husband was saying about just let the child talk.
Let the child talk.
Yeah. That's we learned that later too. Because you tend to come in and want to fix it. And you can't fix it.
Right.
You understand? You could be there as a support effort, but you can't fix it.
Right.
So, we learned that too. And we always encourage parents from our own experience to just listen to your children. Even at that age, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we didn't understand. Our oldest daughter taught real early. And it would be from the time she got up to the time she went to sleep. However, she was very expressive, and now we understand the gift that she's packing. She's very creative.
Right.
She can be doing about 4 or 5 things, and they're excellent. But she got to choose which one is more important right now. So, going back to listening to your children and being listening.
But we as a society, we often come in with different scenarios to try to control the situation.
Yes.
And being a parent and dealing with trauma, you don't have a book. It's not a playbook. It's not a you do this is that, like a book. You put parts together, or you put this program in. Now the computer gonna do this. We don't come along with that. But every time something happens, we try to do that, and it's all across the board in every denomination and in every society, they do the same thing out of habit.
But hopefully we're better than our parents, and then our young people like Michael are better than us. That's why mental health has always been a situation.
Right.
It's just how the generations have chosen to deal with it.
How my mom handles it is different, and she'll tell me, you don't need to have an idle mind. You just need to keep yourself busy. And that's how she deals with it. And
Okay.
it's like, but I can't deal with it that way.
Yes.
I have to talk about it. Because
Right.
if I
Okay.
keep stacking work and stacking work and stacking work and I don't address the issue, well, what's going to happen when I don't have work?
Yes, you're going to bleed over into other things because you've never really dealt with it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I realized for most of my life, that's how I handled it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I found the church and it worked. And then I started performing so much, I realized that, you know, if I keep performing so much, I really am so busy, I don't have anything else to think about.
That's
Right.
And like I said, it really, over the years, it really came to be very effective. Like, it really affected me big
okay.
time.
Okay, so I hear it a lot here. So
But that's a complex mind right there because everybody's not the same. Each person, you got to recognize that we got two kids, two girls, and I can't treat one like the other.
Absolutely
I can't
not.
treat them equal to the point where they're gonna understand, because one deals straight up, you know, this is it and that's it, and then the other one you got to ease it in there. It totally opposite the other one. Thanks, God.
but you know what? You know, and back to one parent dealing with situations one way, like for me, I had to understand that there's a path for me when it comes to, and they're grown adults, but when they're talking, they just want, I have one just want you to listen. That's all she wants. She doesn't want your feedback. Okay, then I have the other daughter who she's being expressive. She's also wanting me to listen, but she wants wise opinions. She doesn't want nothing over the rainbow. Okay,
Right.
so parents, mother and father is different, and even though my husband and I are one, we have different ways of how we deal with our daughters in their life and what they allow, because again, they're grown now.
Right.
So they're not the 7-year-old, okay?
Right.
Because when a child is 7 years old, like we did our last session with the young man saying that his trauma started between 3 and 6, you're so busy sometimes as a parent. A lot of times you're like, oh, it'll be okay. I know for our household, we were like, we're going to pray about it and we're going to take you get some ice cream and it's going to be okay.
Right.
But it's not okay.
Right.
You understand? And we have to allow our children to process properly. And I go back to what my husband said. You just have to let them talk. And it may take days. They keep talking.
Yeah.
But you have to let them talk.
Months.
Yeah, you have to let children talk. So your mom, you shared with us some things she dealt with from trauma as a young woman, and then we're gonna talk about that in the next sessions as well. That some traumas that she dealt with, and some traumas your father dealt with, and they both handled it differently.
Absolutely.
However, when it came to you, they still handled it differently.
Yes.
Okay.
My parents are very complex people.
Okay.
Most of them are.
break that down for the audience. When you say complex.
Yeah. As I got older, I realized, and I've said it before in this, they are just doing the best that they really can.
Right.
Yes.
They've had no support systems growing up.
Mm-hmm.
They were fiercely independent.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was, and I believe we might be talking about this in the next session, but my dad came from a lot of abuse, and my mom came from a lot of abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
And they both handled it differently, but they knew that they didn't want that for their children. That's the
good.
one thing that they came together on.
That's
Right.
good.
Was like they both had different kinds of traumas growing up,
Mm-hmm.
but they knew they didn't want that for their kids.
And so what I've also heard too, that, and God has many ways of helping us, but Vacation Bible School
Right.
Shout out to the churches that still have Vacation Bible
Absolutely.
School. Okay, because this helped young Michael.
It did, and honestly, I went after even I was able to attend. I went back to counsel and help out, and I would do like the PE games with the kids
Yes.
and sit in on their classes and their sessions, and it's beautiful. It's fun. I really
Yes.
enjoyed it, and I've definitely, like I said, I found my little safe haven in there. for
Amen.
it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what would you recommend, or what would you say to parents? Because that situation, does it linger in your mind ever, or it just has a space there?
You mean the
The hitting of
yeah. I think that it has a space in my mind. Obviously, that event, but I didn't realize till I got older how much that specific event impacted my life and my
Wow.
daily decision making. So it's like it kind of hid itself.
okay.
But it took me a long time to be able to find it. And maybe I thought if I could addressed it younger as a child and brought it more to the forefront,
Okay.
it wouldn't have been so hard as an adult to kind of go
Okay.
and find it.
So it's kind of on the shelf, and
Right.
but it was kind of like it didn't have an expiration date on it.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to talk about how that poured over into your adulthood.
Absolutely.
And but if you went back to 7-year-old Michael, what would you tell parents?
Man, tell my parents.
Or just parents in general.
Oh. There's nothing wrong with therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. It was very my parents thought it was very there's something wrong with you.
Okay.
Or you I don't want anybody to think you're crazy.
Right.
And it's very taboo, but I would have told them that it's okay. That's all right. And
Yes.
keep and Bible school's a good thing. Let them keep going.
Yes.
He loves the music. That will pay off. Let him
Yes.
do that.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Michael, for this first session. And we always like to give out our mental health hotline because you never know who's listening. So that's the 988 hotline. We have the text 741. That's free 24/7 crisis counseling for anyone. Also, you have the 211 for general community resources. Now, this is a line that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it is a hotline for mental health guidance and crisis or suicide prevention. Okay, Mr. Perry.
In life, whatever you're going through or whatever trauma that you face and you need extra help, as a psychiatrist or extra counseling, don't be ashamed of it. Don't try to sneak people in through the back door. Don't make the person feel like they're inadequate by going to counseling and all. So that don't make them feel ashamed of it. And therefore, if you do, you'll create a new obstacle in their life. And remember, when you're living your life, live it the way you want to live it and don't just exist. This has been Young People Nation. Remember, there is always hope.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Give the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross. He the #1 prospect. He the top boss. I was broke, I was empty. He the one that paid the cost. Really thought that I was cool. There was nothing like the Savior. Now it's time for the truth. The whole world been waiting. It's Young People Nation. 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 The whole world been waiting. Whatever you going through, I know what he gonna do. Don't matter the circumstance, we going back to the root. Keep going, keep going. Let that seed keep growing. You need peace and we know it. Now it's time to live holy. Young People Nation. You know what time it is. Young People Nation. Get ready, the time is here. Get ready, we vibing here. We about to let God in here. Young People Nation. It's Young People Nation. Yeah, do it for the heavens, you know where we going. Influenced by his love, you know we gotta show it. It's time to put the youth onto what God is doing. Cause I can tell you now, right now, that God is moving. It's Young People Nation.